We're back, bitches. Nobody's podcast. Cue the motherfucking music. What's good, people? That's Jesse Lanza and Kathy Lee. He's Nelson.
He's Neil.
And we are the Nobody's Podcast. What's up, people? We got Chris Bernard in the house. It's about fucking time. We've been telling you about this great man, and we're going to talk a lot of Bushido today. Get your minds right, because I'm telling you, it's like ibogaine for your ears.
And I still don't know what the fuck that is.
Wiki it. So let's get right into it, people. Chris, what's good?
What's happening? Thank you very much for having me. I'm very excited to be here today with you.
Happy to have you.
You nobodies, you guys are somebody to me.
We're just a bunch of nobodies trying to become somebodies, but we want to, we want to be an ear to the people. We want to be a voice to the peeps. So we want to get
Appreciate that.
We want to recognize talent out there. So Chris has. He's quite the accomplished writer, and we want to cover his books today. So you've got 2 books on the go.
I do have 2 books. I'm working on my 3rd book right now.
Working on the 3rd. You're exclusive. Hell yeah!
You heard it here first, people.
Well, we'll have you back just before the kickoff there of the 3rd book, and we can't wait. So tell us about your first one.
The first one is a fantasy adventure story entitled Rain, about a young boy who's searching for the truth about the abduction of his twin brother, and goes on quite a journey with a mysterious stranger who seems to have all the answers. And he sort of learns the reasons why the world goes to war. So it's
I love it.
Intense. Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is in front of us, man.
This is above my IQ. I'm going to get a mind fuck.
Don't worry. This is aimed at middle grade and young adults.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Fuck, I just
Yeah, right.
my mind.
I read the Toronto Sun. Right, so it's a fiction.
Yes.
First one is fiction, right?
First one is fantasy fiction.
Right on. And so how long ago did you release that one?
That one about 2 years ago.
Okay, right on.
I spent about 3 years writing it, and
Holy shit.
yeah, it was kind of a labor of love. It was definitely.
That's awesome.
It's gotta be.
I had no idea why I wanted to do it until I was in the midst of doing it, and while I was doing it, I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I started, so like I got to finish this thing,
Right.
And it just became this. I don't know, this Moby Dick. I was Captain Ahab. I just had to keep going.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome that you had the dedication to do that.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you wanted to write? Did you start off blogging? Is that what it is?
No, I actually began writing stories in school. I was
Before blogs even existed.
Nobody knew what a blog was. It was maybe a black log. I'm not quite sure what it was. But I began writing in school, and I was not very good at it at all.
Okay.
Actually.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're good at something, you don't necessarily... you're not good at teaching it, but sometimes you're not good at it and you want to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
In the long term, like you fight it and then you end up getting a knack for it.
That's right. And actually, one of my teachers, my creative writing teacher in high school, actually...
Did he dish you?
I thought I plagiarized some stories, so to get my grade, I actually had to rewrite a lot of my stories.
Did you, though?
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did plagiarize?
No, I didn't. Well, not the creative stuff, only the academic. Oh, God, no, not the creative stuff. No, I'd be a hack if I just...
Oh, no, I wasn't referring to the creative stuff.
This is interesting.
I was school.
I do believe Nelson and Chris did go to school together. We don't have to name school names, but
they never were in the same class, though.
Yeah, there's a difference in age, a little bit of a difference in age, but Nelson knows.
We knew each other.
He knows who you are. No, you come with...
I come with some stories. I know. I apologize now.
I apologize for
I don't remember any stories.
Oh, thank God. That's why I'm here today with you guys. Because thankfully, Nelson didn't remember.
But Nelson, tell them how you recall Chris, because I think you had a chance to meet him.
I think I have to say the girl's name, though. Otherwise, I'll never know. And it's not a original name.
We'll write it down.
But did you know...
We'll write it down.
Okay. Did you know? There's going to be silence.
There's a moment of silence while he writes. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
That's how we got hooked up years after school.
Oh,
I don't know
really?
if you remember.
Yes.
You referred me to a music video director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which, by the way, that video turned out to be shit. Well, you know, so thanks for that referral.
But tell everyone what you did. What was going on at the time? Because everybody knows Nelson had a little bit of background in the music industry.
Yeah, so I managed an indie band, and you were doing film school or something at the time?
Indeed.
So you and her were in the same class or something, and I was talking about it.
Cool.
She was like, "You got to hook up with this guy."
Yep.
And so, but you didn't want to take on the project or something.
No.
You thought this guy would be better, but you would have been better.
Well, you were going to school for studying film, or?
Yeah, I eventually got into Ryerson for film, which is not my first choice, and I don't think I was their first choice either. So it's kind of a mutual thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I dabbled in the arts quite a bit.
What aspect of it?
It was the writing that really got to me.
So you're going to do screenplays?
Yeah, I wanted to make movies, write movies, come up with the ideas, and then I found out that they're the bottom of the totem pole in the movie industry, and I was fine with that. I was like,
we'll shed some light on it, because that's why we're here. We know fuck all about everything. That's our motto. And why you're here is enlightened. Like, Nelson and I don't know if he's adopted it, but we say there's a playbook for everything. There's a conspiracy for everything. And that the writing in Hollywood in particular has got to be.
Yeah.
Well, he's not Jewish, so
that's why I'm here with you guys.
Respect to the Jews. One day when we make it big enough, we're going to create a partnership.
That's what you need a Jewish person on your team.
We love you.
That's right. That'll take it to New York.
We recognize, right?
Is there any Jewish people out there listening? Please.
And it's not like they're Hollywood's not fabulous, right?
No, we're not hating. We're not hating.
Absolutely not. You know what?
For the record, we're not hating.
I think a lot of people are down on the Hollywood system because of what comes out of it, but I have learned that it's a lot tougher to crack than most people think.
Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Nobody sets out to make a bad movie.
What's the process to get your writing actually recognized and to become a regular writer?
Well, as I said, writers are on the bottom of the pole, so it doesn't actually start with that idea all the time. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time it starts with a producer that has an idea or knows somebody.
And then he goes after the writer?
And yeah, maybe he'll want to find a writer who can shape his idea into something. With really good people that wear many hats, like writer/directors, those people that have proven themselves, those are the commodities, like Quentin Tarantino, who can write, produce, and direct.
Right.
He has more creative control. But as I said, because it's such an involved creative process, the end result isn't always something, I guess, people appreciate. But it is definitely a difficult process.
So how does someone get skin in the game? Like, how do you got to do a variety of things?
Self-invest in a bunch of...
Yeah, what's the playbook?
The playbook to becoming a screenwriter is don't.
Well, or make your own movies, pay your own way.
Absolutely.
And hope that's why we're seeing the whole a movement of indie film.
Yeah, hope that it gets picked up by some festival or whatever else.
That's right. And technology has really opened the game up for a lot of indie players.
Right.
Like us.
Like you guys.
I'm sniffing something here.
Like you
Nelson's
guys.
got,
I can turn a microphone on. I still know how to
production value. We got our writer. I'll act. I don't give a shit. Like, whatever you gotta... I'll do what we gotta...
There's it calls for nudity. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You might have to do 8 hours.
What is this?
You have to start somewhere, my friend. That's what a lot of us are
Stallone
told.
did it.
That's right. And he'll do it again. Yeah, so I mean, if you wanted to become a writer, the best thing to do is to obviously read everything you can, watch as many movies as you can, take the courses, read the books, just immerse yourself in the language of film. It does have the language, and it it really dates back to, telling stories around a campfire. When you can, summarize a story and hold people's attention for a short time, or a long amount of time, then, you prove yourself as a good storyteller.
Yeah.
I mean, the most valuable thing I learned, I guess, in all my years of trying to be a screenwriter is that brevity and clarity win above all. If you can clearly articulate and show your idea on the page, then people will take notice.
But writing a book and writing in general has got to be different than screenplay.
Absolutely.
So you have to learn that discipline.
Yes.
So they're big on the format too, are they not? If you don't format that thing properly, they're not even going to.
They're not even looking at you.
Sure.
And what's interesting is now they have, we call it the 80-20 or the 90-10 rule, where they only read the first 10 pages of your script.
Right. And then you got to grab.
So put an explosion in the first 10 pages, then basically.
Yeah, you got to grab some.
Blow some shit up in the first 10
Jedi
pages.
mind trick.
That's right.
So I have a question about the screenplay. Does that include dialogue already, or does scripting come in after?
Well, the screenplay itself is a combination of sparse description and dialogue.
Right.
And depending on the genre you're writing will determine the amount of dialogue you have on the page. Right, so there's a lot of dramas that have a lot of dialogue, so you're going to see a lot of that. Action movies, you don't want people talking. Like, Arnold couldn't articulate, a sentence, so there's not a lot of dialogue.
So is there a lot of description then in those?
There's absolutely, you're describing how a car chase or an explosion might happen, so depending on the genre, it'll depend on what more you're writing.
There's a lot of detail in the brackets.
Yeah, and you're a guy who frankly didn't enjoy writing and now gets immersed himself into something where you got to write your heart out.
That's absolutely. And a lot of times it's a labor of love. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to be very
well.
emotional because, not to generalize like crazy, but arts and the emotion, it's your personal work. So when there's rejection, right, you get a lot of folks getting into that industry and they feel like they got it. They got the it, and when they don't have it, they feel like shit.
Well, and then some won't even read your script unless you're represented by an agent, right?
Absolutely. They don't want any unsolicited scripts, but that's more of a screening process. There's always ways around it. I mean, if you put yourself in a producer's shoes who hears, let's say, at minimum 20 ideas a day up to, maybe 1,000 a week, you don't want to spend your life hearing about people's really bad stories that the second act just tanks and the ending's unsatisfying.
It's a filtering system.
It is. It is a filtering. And
very similar to
rightfully so.
Right. I think we have to respect that.
Absolutely.
There are numerous processes in a former workplace that I would be in. And, just the simplest things would get you knocked out. Like, if you didn't put, why you were there or what your qualifications. Like, if you had to name 5 things or 5 reasons why they should consider you, if you missed it blatantly or completely, forget it, right? And so they should, because there's how many applicants?
Absolutely.
Right? How many writers want to write for shows?
Absolutely. And writing for television.
When Nelson says you don't follow the format, you're a dummy.
Well, you're behind the 8 ball big time because you don't even know the basics of the industry at that point.
That's
no matter how
so the story could be amazing.
So true.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so true. And I mean, look at Mr. Cameron, who did his Avatar, that when he pitched the idea, they laughed at him, and they're like, there's no way it's going to happen.
Even after the history that he's
Even after he made a few successful films, he was like, hey, I got this great idea about these blue people. And they went so far, it was published in this book of ideas that didn't happen before the movie came out. So they already passed on it and said it's not going to happen.
Well, I'm sure he probably went in there and he's like, I want to do Dances with Wolves in Space. How many times have I heard that comparison? But the wolves... Like, no, hell no. Okay, we'll make them blue.
The wolves, you see, but they look like people. They're not werewolves per se. They look like people. They're like hairy.
They have slits in their hair.
Yeah. There's no moons, but it's lit really well.
We're gonna make it 3D.
And someone said, you know what? Someone smoked a do one day, and they're like, let's just see him do it. If he can actually do it. Let's give him
If you pay for half, we'll pay the other half.
They're probably like, let's give him an obscene amount of money and see if he can,
A lot of
use
times
it all.
that happens. Actually, the writers or the creators of that show Lost were in a similar situation where they went to the executives, they pitched the show Lost, and the executive was like, well, I'm about to lose my job, so fuck it. Here you guys go. Here's some money. It's not going to work. Go to town.
Really?
Look at that, eh?
And at the beginning?
At the beginning,
Oh,
yeah.
no kidding.
Yeah, they didn't think the show really had a chance. And the executive just
So
wanted
these guys
to
are just fucking lucky.
They're rifling off
They got
seasons, like, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And it worked out really well for them. And
Sometimes when you're put in that corner, you come up with your best ideas, right? Like,
Yes.
you think Island, Stranded, you think of Gilligan's, like, Christ, another one that's going
Tom
to go,
Hanks.
10 years? Like, yeah, how do you make a show with such limited boundaries go so far? So, credit to the writers, man.
Absolutely.
And they're
It's just a
competing.
rip-off of Survivor. Yeah. That's all it was. It worked for them. Fuck it. We'll make a fake one.
So where did you go from there? Because
I have a question. Are these books self-published? Or
my second book, self-published.
Okay.
I wanted to tackle the self-publishing market just because, again, technology is changing the game for a lot of indie people.
Right.
And the big publishing houses are a little leery about writers that don't have a platform. So
okay.
a lot of writers now are building their own platforms through social media and
Sure.
and doing self-publishing route, just like the 50 Shades lady
Yep.
that was not quite self-published, but she went through other channels before a major publisher picked it up.
what did
Right.
she do?
She should put it up on a website, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's actually fan
Was it
fiction.
free, or-
It's
Yeah.
a fan fiction for Twilight.
No kidding.
So it's supposed to be Edward and fucking Bella, I guess.
yeah. So it just became this.
Just keep spinning it off.
What else could we do with these two people?
We're getting a lot of ideas here, guys.
There was a while where everything had a vampire in it. It was just
Yeah, that's true.
insane.
It was.
And
now we've
shows.
evolved to zombies.
True Blood.
Well, everything is a goddamn zombie.
Well, yes, everything. Yeah, that's a nice.
Apocalyptic, end of the world.
But it's such an easy story to tell. It's just a survival story,
Right.
About, and
With whips.
Well,
Let's throw some whips in there, because
Yes.
no other vampire stories have whips, so we'll put them in this one.
yes. How can we reinvent the vampire story, zombie story? Let's use whips. Get some S&M in there. Maybe.
Fucking A1, that's what Twilight was missing anyways.
So you're basically forced not only to come with a platform, you've got to come with a following. Right?
Yes,
Basically.
I think because technology is a great equalizer for the independent, but the other side of that is now the expectation is higher. You've really got to be able to build that platform.
Because now they're going to ask you how many downloads or purchases that you
Exactly.
have, right?
Right.
Exactly.
It's very similar to the way the music industry went years ago.
Yeah.
Because when I was studying music industry, the gurus and whoever else, the guys that are like deciding whether you get signed at the record label or not, are saying, do the demo on your own, go out there and tour on your own,
Right.
build your fan base, and then once you fucking blow your brains out with your money and have a following, then we'll come to the table.
we'll come in and
because
swoop you up.
you spend your money first before we'll spend ours.
Absolutely,
Basically, right?
and you can see that on YouTube a lot. A lot of a couple of series have been picked up because they were YouTube shows first, and it makes sense from the producer or investor's point of view. It's like, okay,
It's already a proven system.
Exactly. You've got a fan base. You put up the money. People are already invested. Okay, let's go. Let's make a show out of it.
Are they not as
Yeah, no,
concerned
no
about
orange.
how you achieve it, though? Like, if you're a total freelance, you don't go by, like, the traditional filming norms or writing norms, but you create, X amount of hits and you got popularity. I guess at that point, do they not care anymore? They're like, fuck it, this guy's got 50,000 people.
Absolutely.
Let's rock.
I mean,
Right?
at the end of the day, it's a business for them, right?
Right.
Suits and those poor poor executives are struggling to put food on the table.
Yeah, they can't even. Well, the reality is they don't know how to make a decision for themselves. Is the sad part,
right?
They don't know what's good from not good. Because if they did, they wouldn't need somebody to prove it first. They would fucking know.
That's true. They would take a chance, and
right.
I think that is also lends into the quality that's coming out. I mean, sadly, this great big machine, Hollywood. I think because our expectations have been raised so high, what we're getting doesn't quite compare.
Sure.
And the decisions being made at the top are not always the best.
The best ones. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But you know, at the end of the day, it's a collaborative effort. Everybody, I would like to think, does their best. Not always, but that's the intention that I like to think is going on.
Is sometimes the impression's given that, or people take the impression that they can do things to the level that what they see and hear and read.
Yes. And then you see it every year with the summer blockbusters and such that come out. My personal favorite was Superman. I was very excited at this reboot, reimagining of Superman, Man of Steel.
Great.
And then I wasn't thoroughly disappointed, but you know.
Well, Christopher Nolan wasn't involved. That's the problem.
What everyone
he was
right?
as a producer. He wasn't as a director, writer, or whatever. He wasn't performing the Batman series.
I think Superman is flawed at its core. I think his story is flawed at its core. I think
his superhero story is flawed though.
Well, no, Batman actually has a really good story. I think a nice comparison, like the Batman series franchise, did really well.
Right.
Man of Steel, not so much because of the story they wanted to tell in both those cases. Like, I just feel that Superman is not a relatable character. Like, if any one of us had any small heightened power, we would not be trying to blend in with glasses and a blazer. You would be exploiting that power.
That's the funny
even
part.
as a human.
That's the funny part, though. He curls his hair, puts on glasses, and nobody recognizes him anymore.
And now he's just a hipster.
Camouflage.
He's a hipster. You can the hipster generation. They just they all blend together anyway. So Superman decided, I'm going to be a hipster. Nobody will recognize me with these thick horn-rimmed glasses. But what's interesting, he no longer changes in phone booths. I kind of miss that. I miss that the simplicity of Superman. Now he just, I don't know.
Nobody can see anybody in that phone booth. I don't get that. Did they have
he changes so fast.
Didn't that phone booth freaking have windows?
It's like you watched the Tasmanian Devil in a phone booth. You just thought, what was that? Oh, it's Superman.
Oh yeah, it's just Superman. He's changing.
Do you notice who went in there? No idea.
He had horn-rimmed glasses. Some hipster.
You couldn't do it now. Everybody's got a cell phone. Nobody's got a phone.
Would be all over YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody would have a smartphone recording. Yeah. Man changes in phone booth.
What's a
or hipster? He got kissed naked in booth.
Hashtag
super.
You got these kids on smartphones. They're like, what the fuck did he go into?
What is that?
What's that glass case he went into?
Nobody knows what a phone booth even is.
No, not anymore.
Wow.
It costs like 35 cents to make a call.
Yeah, not even a quarter.
Not even a quarter. What does that mean? A quarter plus a dime?
Quarter plus a dime.
They gotta make it 35 cents.
Quarter, 2 nickels. 6 nickels.
They gotta really look at their phone plan, you know?
They're not giving you much choice. They already eliminated the penny, so what's next?
Oh, wow.
That's what they should do. They should make it 26
They should fuck everyone over. Eliminate the penny and make it 33 cents.
That's right.
You're really gonna get rid of profit. So after school, that wasn't the direction you were going to go. So you
actually
went to working, I suppose, and then
yes. I donned the life of the starving artist just because it looked really cool and it'd be awesome to tell that story of how I made
a lot too.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot to eat in the fridge.
But he was hanging out with Rob for plenty.
Rob and I, while we were smoking crack, Rob and I, we were struggling artists, the two of us, He went into politics. I went into, I don't know. Rob, call me. If you're listening, if you're out there, Rob.
Call me, baby. We got to work on the next campaign.
He still owes me $5. No, I decided, I didn't want the industry to chew me up and spit me out and me end up doing porn somewhere.
Oh, you should have just done the porn, man.
I should have started with porn.
You should have started with porn.
I should have.
And then go the other route.
It would have been a rewarding story at the end of it. Hey, kids, guess what? If you stick with it, anything's possible. No, I decided to take many breaks from the industry and writing and that sort of thing. But it always drew me back in some capacity.
Right.
There was always somebody doing something creative, and I couldn't stay away. So I did a few short films and that sort of thing here and there.
Writing or acting? Both?
Both. Yeah, sometimes writing and sometimes acting. Mostly writing. I think I wanted to take a break from acting for a while. Mostly stage stuff, so if you're trying to look for me out there, please don't.
You're not going to YouTube
So
me.
theater stuff? That's harder, isn't that?
Yeah.
It's harder, but it is actually more rewarding just because you really need to be on point. And
Right.
I decided, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try musical theater.
Okay.
I actually was in Jesus Christ Superstar. That was
No kidding.
No,
yeah,
were you Jesus?
I wanted to be Jesus, but they were like, "Listen, you just don't sound like Jesus."
How did you know?
I don't know. Hey, man,
Were you there?
you don't know what Jesus really
You
sounded
don't
like.
sound like Jesus.
No, it was my voice. They were like,
You should have got really abrasive. What do you mean, Jesus?
"What do you mean Jesus didn't sound like me? You know Jesus sounded like me." Hold on a second, sucker. No, they decided that I
You would have had it for sure.
This is a race thing, isn't it? Isn't it? Uh-huh. No, they were like, you know what? You are going to be Caiaphas. You're the guy that killed Jesus. I was like, I'm fine with that. That's racist. Wait, okay, no, I'm fine. I can kill Jesus. I can kill him. That's fine. I can do that. So, yeah.
Did you get an agent for that, or you just
No, I just auditioned, and it's sweet.
This had to be in Toronto.
No, it was in Vancouver, and
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I refuse. I still have not seen it. Like I'll perform, but I don't watch myself when I do things.
That's like us with the podcast. We don't listen.
We're not going to listen.
Thank God. Oh God, I don't want to listen.
Then we realize how many mistakes we made.
That is how you learn from those mistakes. Yes,
We're doomed to repeat it.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, I didn't want to really do too much acting. I really enjoyed the writing and scripting part, so I eventually made a short film called Gravedigger. Which was an interesting tale about a woman scorned.
Oh, so it wasn't based on the monster truck.
No, I should. That'll make a good movie. Nice 2-hour movie.
Big fucking truck driving around the city.
That's right.
Well, they're filling seats somewhere.
Right?
Not like people aren't going.
They still have one? I saw a commercial the other day like this.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand the allure. Can you, like, these trucks are just big, but we don't see them on the road. Like, if I saw them on the road on the highway, I would stop and go.
They're not out on the road.
So then, I don't mean to divert, but what is the allure of the monster truck?
It's just crashing shit up.
It just crushes it.
Yeah, it's the immensity of it, the noises.
Just want to see some metal.
The fact that you can't drive that every day.
It's a car driving on top of another car.
I can't go to the scrapyard and watch metal being crushed. I need to sit in the audience.
You know what the messed up thing about those trucks is when they lose control, they jump into the stands.
The stands, I've seen
And it cannot stop, obviously.
That's
There's
right.
no brakes in midair.
And people are just, like, enthralled by this. I don't understand.
To me, it's like going to a bullfight. Like, why the fuck would you sit there?
Well, you want to see
And
somebody get gored.
But the bulls jump onto the stands, too.
That's true.
Like, I don't want to be there when the bulls fucking go nuts.
I feel more bad for the bull, though, in those situations.
I don't support that shit, man.
Do you feel bad for the truck?
I feel bad for the guy in the truck.
I feel
When
bad
it tips over.
for the family that paid the $100 to get in. Come on, that should be free. Come on. Monster trucks. There used to be a cartoon I think I watched. Maybe I watched that. It was a monster truck cartoon. It was about trucks. They were really big.
Transformers for me. I don't remember.
Do you remember the GoBots though?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was wondering why they weren't as big. I mean, yes, they were a cheesy knockoff.
Yeah.
But they were still, they had a place in my
They're
heart.
brand snobs. What can I say?
Even at the ripe old age of 8, the brand snob.
4 to 8, 4 to 10.
Hold on, that doesn't say Optimus Prime. That doesn't. No. Yeah, no.
The Transformer movie was just a big fucking GM commercial.
Yeah, it was. It was. And there's nothing like driving a solid GM car. Try to give you some sponsorship.
Big fucking Saturn made an appearance in that movie.
I think it was Decepticon. What Nelson's first car? Yeah. You drove a Saturn? Really?
I did, man.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Let's not repeat it again.
Do they still make Saturns?
No.
Yeah.
No, they're done, I think.
No, they got smarter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Goddamn Tupperware car.
The Tupperware
Yeah,
car. Oh.
He had the non-dent version.
They're making a new Transformers movie.
I heard that, yeah.
And
Is Shia LaBeouf in it again?
I don't think so.
No, I think this all
Thank
takes
God.
place on their
Their planet?
Their planet
So
there.
it's what it should have been from the start.
Yeah. Could get
That's
really
true.
nasty, yeah.
That
And
is
the
true.
humans will be a consideration, right?
Fuck.
It's a fantastic Michael Bay film, and he's good at what he does when he does what he does. Good old.
So
Michael Bay.
you enjoy movies?
I do. But I since I made this switch to novels, I haven't been watching as many movies, which sucks. But I'm hoping this year I'll probably make a transition back to.
But do you like
film.
special effects or really good acting, or do you just like a really good story?
You know what?
Like
For a while, I was a snob. I was like, "Oh, it's just effects," but
right?
even that's an art. Like to make an effect that's believable. That takes patience, time, and some smarts. And I can appreciate that. I am a sucker for great story. I mean, effects are great, but if something's blowing up for no reason, then pulls me out of
That's the Man of Steel, right?
That is
you not
the
find
Man
it?
of Steel.
The last 20 minutes of that movie.
It was a long
happen.
explosion.
Like, how many times can you throw a guy through a building and watch him hit the other 3 buildings behind it?
We get it. He's very strong.
It happened once.
Very durable.
Cool, let's move on.
But what I didn't get in
But
that
that's
one
what you
movie
paid for.
is his dad, his Earth dad.
Yeah.
Died in an explosion, but he did nothing. I would have been like, "Damn, everybody! I'm going to save my dad."
He didn't want him to.
But
He
super
shook his
like,
head. He said, "No, don't do it."
Don't save me.
Don't save me.
But use your powers to save
But
me.
he was so fast, he could have grabbed him, come back.
Oh, for sure. Well, while
like-
he's still shaking his head.
Or grabbed him, dropped him, and then took off so no one could have seen what happened.
That's right. I mean, Superman didn't really have a super mind. He was just kind of like lollygagging through the whole thing. I hate to harp on Superman, but he's just a bad example for kids everywhere. His unreal expectations.
Yeah, he saved the fat kid. At the beginning of the movie. Why didn't he save his
Save
dad?
the fat kid, please. That kid's needs saving. That's the moral of the story.
Hey, let's not. Don't fat shame.
No,
buddy.
fat shaming is inspiration for me, okay? Screw you guys.
If you want to be fat, be fat. Be happy.
Yeah.
If you're going to be fat, be happy.
Arguably, though, some of the best movies are the Pixar, Disney, Toy Story
Well,
3.
it's the story first.
That's-
like you were
that's
saying.
right.
Character development is first and then action second.
They scrapped Toy Story. They had an entire not script, but a story fleshed out. And as they started production, they were like, you know what, this isn't good enough. We're gonna scrap it and start again. And they redid the story.
And I've heard numerous reviews that stating that Toy Story 3 was the best movie of the year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year.
It's fantastic. I mean, it really brought the whole thing together. The stories are great. The characters we already invested in. Mm-hmm. They went to a new level, which is weird because you're like, these are just pixelated animated people that I care about. That lovable Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mr. Allen, I can't. Oh, jeez, his name escapes me. But you know what I'm talking
Tim
about.
Allen.
Tim Allen. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're just so invested in these guys, and it's just really, it was really nice to see how it all ended. Just, they did a really good job.
Yeah.
But Pixar is known for that. Mm-hmm. And actually, a good friend of mine was obsessed with WALL-E. He was a grown man, mind you, which was really weird. Everything was about WALL-E for a while. He'd even beep and make WALL-E sounds. I was like, okay, we can't hang out anymore.
This is an intervention for this guy.
This is a safe place. We all need to tell you. You need to stop being WALL-E. But if you think about how much dialogue was actually in that movie, there wasn't much.
No.
But it was just the story and the way the characters came across.
That's right. You look at movies in the 70s, early 80s, there were a lot more movies with silence.
Yeah,
right?
they really
You don't have the montage. You don't have exactly like the special effects and the sounds. Like, it's just a guy walking into a room,
Charlie Chaplin,
looking for something, you know, like and
there's a way that he did it that really held your attention and everything.
Exactly, yeah. But now we can't have anything.
Well, they were forced to be creative back then. They had no sound. What are we going to do?
Yeah, they didn't have the means to do it.
Yeah.
But I think we got to know when to lay off, because those techniques, I mean, that are the ingredients of great films.
Absolutely, and I think actually I feel that TV is probably benefiting from the movie overdose, because now nobody goes to the movies to see dramas.
Right.
When was the last time you went to the movie to see an intimate drama?
And I heard a podcast.
You watch it on TV on HBO. And they're really benefiting
or
from
Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I heard a podcast where a writer talked about the difference between movie writing and TV show writing.
Yes.
And I don't call it a downfall of movies, but where TV shows are excelling now is they stop using the formula where every episode has to end with a conclusion. And they carry it on for a whole season. Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, Dexter. Right? Dexter had a new villain for an entire season.
So there's no more Full House where there has to be like a sad...
at the lesson learned every single time.
Right? Absolutely not. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants the resolution.
Arguably, these shows are now movies within themselves. Right?
Absolutely.
And the writers are shocking the actors with what material they're coming with. Every
there's
week,
a lot more respect and honor for the television writer, because it is the writer that's coming up with these shows, and they have to do it in such a small time frame that
they have to execute it so fast.
Absolutely,
right?
It's funny with shows too, because the actors don't know what's happening. Like, they find out days before or a week before, let's say, or whatever, and they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, that's right. And what's crazy about showrunners, the people that kind of head the writing department, they get to work in teams, and they plan out the major arc of the character for the season, and then they assign like each episode to the writing team, and then they get back together and they kind of put it all together like a little puzzle.
Right.
So you get to see that entire character arc before it actually goes to the screen, which is really cool. Really cool process.
I think the PVR, DVR era and internet streaming and so on is also killing TV, in that
absolutely
you don't have to watch it on Monday night. You don't have to watch it on Sunday.
It's definitely killing advertising.
Right? Do you remember the Thursday lineup? Like, it was NBC had this Thursday lineup of like Seinfeld, like Cheers. It's just unparalleled. Nobody gets to touch them for a while. And you had to be home Thursday nights to watch it.
Right,
now,
because you're never going to see a rerun.
That's right. You have to wait for that rerun to air again. So now you're watching it on your own terms, which is crazy, which is really good for the consumer, but not so much for the big business. So I think we're going to see a lot more commercials where there shouldn't be, because TV is not a safe place anymore.
Sure.
Well, they're probably going to do it more in the actual products, right? Like
product placements
embedded in the
exactly, absolutely,
which you're already seeing, without even noticing it.
Yeah, right? I see a lot in movies, product placement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's a big deal. It's like 007. They had that big caterpillar fucking shit up on the train.
The Sony products.
And I thought, why didn't John Deere get up in that? What the hell?
all the computer equipment, right? Yeah. That's funny. But when you see that, it's pretty terrible. Like, like a Coke can gets knocked over or something. You know, it has nothing to do with the chase scene. But we're looking at a Coke can for 2 seconds.
They slow-mo the Coke flying out of the can.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, that's really refreshing.
Yeah. Well, that really quenches my thirst. You know, there's some cheesy line they drop just to include it.
Yeah.
But I laugh at those. I see those and I'm like, oh, you almost pulled one over. Well, you didn't almost, but I think it's fun. I applaud them at their attempts to still be relevant. But, and I think a lot of times now people have sort of picked the brands they like. Mm-hmm. And so when they see things in movies or product placement, it bothers them when it's not a brand they like.
That they like.
But when it's something you like, and you're like, oh, cool.
It's an assertion. It's like, it's a validation.
Like my computers were every
Mac
you never see a PC.
An Apple product on Entourage. You're like, fuck yeah!
Well, it's just funny because a PC doesn't look as cool. So it on film.
It doesn't. Right? Admittedly, it doesn't. No. And once you make the switch, there's no looking back.
You're matching the status there.
That's right.
The product.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, tell me about dropping the book, the first one. Did you have it on hard copy, or was that a PDF release? Was that Amazon?
No, actually,
Is it still available?
It is not. I took that back down. It was just an e-reader type edition. Mm-hmm. Took it back down. I wanted to play with it some more. I was workshopping it with never satisfied with my work. I think I wanted to take it down before I began to, dislike it. I think my second book was more of an experiment. Okay. While I still can appreciate the process and the message, I'm not overly fond of it anymore.
The first book?
The second one.
Oh, the second one.
I'm not overly
tell
fond.
Tell us your work.
So you took the second one down or the first one?
The first one down. I took the first one down. Second one's still available.
But you're not liking the second one?
It is what it is. I've made my peace with what it is.
What it is, okay.
And what it is a collection of essays. So it is actually a non-fictional, semi-biographical collection of essays on morality.
So how high were you while you wrote these books?
Very well. I mean, look at all the great writers. They all drink. And I learned if I want to be a great writer, I need to drink. Which is why I have my drink right here. I don't know. I was just in a place and I was deciding that, sin probably isn't as bad as people think it is. If everyone's a sinner, then how bad could it really be?
I want to read these books.
Just so everyone knows, Chris's book is named Hello, My Sin Is. And it's available. You can check it out. Get on our website, nobodies.com. You can log on to Amazon. We're going to have a link. You can still get it on Amazon, right?
You can still get it on Amazon. You can still get it on Smashwords. It's still out there. It's a short, little, intense read. It's heavy. Some people are saying, I really like the book, but I couldn't get through it. It's a lot like reading the Bible.
Really?
Yeah. And that's a compliment. I'm like, well, you couldn't get through the Bible. Hey. That's awesome.
You tried reading all that?
You tried.
Commentary is sometimes the most interesting part of the shit that comes on people's minds.
Absolutely. But I just decided to really take a look at the 7 sins.
Yeah, but this one's a nonfiction.
This one is.
So you tried to play Jesus and Jesus. Whatever.
I tried to play Jesus, and then they're like, "No, you got to kill him." And I guess I was angry about that and wanted to talk about sin.
So now you're right.
You wrote the next Bible chapter.
The lost chapters of the Bible. That's right. From the apostle.
These aren't C scrolls.
Wait a minute. These aren't C scrolls. They're more like F scrolls.
Yeah. This is a PDF.
Yes. I tried writing on parchment, but it didn't have the same effect. Nobody wanted to take me seriously.
But it's like a night and day transformation, like what you wrote about the second time around. And
well, actually, seemingly, but a lot of the subject matter from the first book, because I went from sort of a child's perspective about war and the origins of war, most could say is probably religious. Mm-hmm. So then I kind of realized that after the fact that I have a theme running in a lot of my works. So the second book, I guess I stripped the fiction away and decided to look at sins just as they are, as we see them, as society sees them. And I took the approach that if it needs to exist, it must have a purpose. And I guess it depends on how we look at that purpose. It could be bad or could be good, which was a strange, I guess, thing to do, to look at sin in a good way. But
it's pretty challenging, though, to do that.
It was very challenging, and I guess to balance it out, I also looked at the 7 virtues. A lot of people are, I guess, not really taught what the virtues are.
Yeah, no, they are.
Virtues?
Yeah, you're like, some people were introduced to it by watching a Morgan Freeman Brad Pitt movie.
I did a lot of research watching that movie.
I watched this movie with Gwyneth Paltrow.
That's right. That's right. I had to, go back and study what was happening there. That Kevin Spacey, a lot to process. A lot.
That's just the age we're in, right? That's the only way you're gonna know, right?
That's right. Well, and you know what? Writing it, I kind of had this, tongue-in-cheek thought about God and the devil. Or, I was like, well, if I'm taught to, forgive and forget, I'm like, these two must have had a conversation at some point in time to forgive and forget. Like, they were here before me, they'll be here after. You're telling me they can't just, hey,
They've never talked.
Real sorry about that. Hey, let's see it. Like, come on.
They blocked each other on Facebook.
Unfriended each other. Come on. Please like my Facebook page. And God's shaking his head like, no. Wait, it'll be a cold day in hell before I like your page there, son. So, I just wanted to see what it would be like to think like, hey, since we all do it, it must be a little bit good. If not, we'll see what happens. And the feedback I got from people was actually the most rewarding part of that whole experience. I guess that's why I kept it up.
Sure. Why you contemplating taking it off?
Yeah, because after, again, I don't know why anybody would want to write a book. It's a hellish experience. It's just...
He's writing his third.
Yeah! I'm a sucker for punishment. What can I say? I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to do it again.
What's the third book about?
The third
Where can we possibly go?
Both of those are pretty intense topics.
Yeah.
The third book is, I brought the fiction back.
Okay.
It's still underneath the same subject matter. Again, it deals with a man who is struggling with addiction, so he has to go to group sessions, and he's not...
Sounds awesome.
He's not really feeling bad at all about what he's addicted to, and the reader doesn't really know what he's addicted to until the very end.
Nice.
But yes, there's morality issues. His mother is murdered, so he has to figure out who murdered his mother. He's a corporate lawyer, way and above his head, but he learns through... nefarious channels and obviously sin to find his way. I don't know why I keep coming back to that subject matter. I don't know. I'm trying to understand.
Something happened in your childhood or something?
Yes, I was taken to church regularly.
Shit.
You know what? Frankly, there's a lot of folks that are going to be able to relate to that, and I think what was the kind of commentary you got from about the second one, the supportive words. Were you surprised, or were you expecting a backlash?
Yeah, I was actually expecting, to be in a lot of trouble when I put it out there. I thought people would, just be...
There's a lot of courage to do it. Let alone to write a book, but now you're talking about
an
religion.
edgy subject, yeah.
Religion.
Yeah, it's such a touchy thing, and people saying you should discuss...
That's the content of... Yeah,
that's what
you
you
talk
understand it if I don't talk about it. So I just have this need to want to talk about it, because I want to understand it some more and be like, no, don't talk about it. I'm like, well, I guess in some... instances it could get me killed. But that's what living on the edge is all about, right? As a writer,
I think you're in the right country.
Yeah, you're in a different society.
Yeah, so it's okay for me here to write about those sorts of things. I really enjoy religious topics. I am not a person that follows an organized religion, but I find it fascinating. I worked at a Catholic school for a while when I was out in BC, and going to Mass I found really interesting. I was like, oh wow, you Catholics are awesome. You guys drink a lot. This is fantastic. No wonder Jesus loves you.
One priest at my church when I was younger, he used to drink from the chalice, wherever that's cooking. Yeah. I'm a bad Catholic. And then he would rub his finger around the edge and tip it and smack the back.
Yeah, to
make sure you got every drop in that cup.
That is customary. That is what happened.
Not wasting a drop.
It's symbolic. Each of that.
Is it? Or is it this stuff is awesome?
Maybe a little
Can't
bit
get
of both.
enough of it.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of both. But
my sin is.
A little my sin is I drink too much. No, it was really cool to be exposed to different religions and theories and theologies. I find that stuff very interesting because these are the stories that we believe and tell ourselves. So I think from that I like to create other stories that sort of challenge those beliefs.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a healthy thing to do. And actually, that's one of the points I want to bring up because I was reading on your site. What's your WordPress site?
Oh, the WordPress site has the same name as the second book. Hello, My Sin Is.
WordPress?
Yeah.
Hello, My Sin Is WordPress.
Hello, My Sin Is WordPress.
So it would be .wordpress.com.
Yes.
Religion has a shame attached to it and causes us to fear communicating about our beliefs and our thoughts. So, you talked about that being like the road bump, like the glass ceiling, or that kind of the taboo that causes folks not to be able to talk about it, and because we don't communicate it, we're at a standstill.
Absolutely. And I think when declaring this is my religion, and not everyone does this, but it, in a sense, you're saying this is what I believe. I'm right. You're wrong. And again, that is not always the instance, but I think it's subconscious sort of. It's a subconscious need not to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong, so I want to believe this, and I'm going to believe it. And in believing, yes, it is true, but then there is that glass ceiling, as I said, with belief that somebody else might have, and they might have a belief that is different from my own.
A lot of people use a defensive mechanism too, right? Like, how could you question?
That's right. Because you don't want to be wrong.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Being wrong usually meant death back in the day.
The funny thing with that is, how can you not question it? Because name one person who's died and come back other than Jesus. The story goes.
I was just going to say, the friend who was a carpenter, he went to the other side and came on back.
Like, other than him and Kanye.
Jesus. Let's talk about Jesus.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe he named his store that. But anyway, who can say that they've been to the other side and back and then can explain to me what happens on the other side?
Sure.
Nobody.
Or even if there is another side, right?
Yes,
your faith doesn't have to be that.
You might just go to sleep for the rest of your life.
That's right.
That is true. That is true. No one really knows.
When I started to read the book and when I read the reviews, because I wanted to do both at the same time, because I kind of forecast where I was. Because I grew up Catholic, Nelson's Catholic. Yeah. I went to a Catholic school, and I don't believe Nelson went to a Catholic school.
I did elementary,
but not in high school.
Not in high school.
But that doesn't make me any different or better or worse, so to speak, than... But I've always felt like as a Catholic, when I was in high school and at that time and not knowing and learning and understanding religions any better, I felt like, if you're on board, if you're on Team Catholic, you got to practice Catholic, right? Yeah. Totally overlooking the fact that, being a good person is first and foremost, right?
Absolutely.
And, we talk about the golden rule, but that's not a faith, right? You don't have to believe in the golden rule. It's,
That's right.
It just can be...
That transcends all religions.
Exactly.
That's right. And interestingly, sloth, which is one of the sins, isn't really about laziness. It's about not discovering your religion for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people just take the doctrine face value without trying to figure out what it means for them. We're trying to transcend that.
Right.
So sloth is actually the not doing that, not trying to figure out what this religion that I believe means for me.
Sure. So there's a lot of irony in that.
Yeah.
You're learning these principles, yet you're
not really applying them or figuring out how that applies.
And the way in which it's taught is totally going over someone's head, a true believer's head. And
absolutely. There's so many layers to...
absolutely. The one layer I want to bring up to is, I mean, if you consider the fact that religion really, depending on what this is what I understand now, looking back, understanding other ones, but Christianity in particular can be characterized as basically keeping and withholding a knowledge to kind of hold a power or authority over people in the past. And you see it in movies like the Dan Brown books with Tom Hanks in it, Angels and Demons, the one before that. Excuse me. Tom Hanks.
Yes,
it was a lot of controversy when that one came out.
Yes, the Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code, right? And I thought when that was going to come out, I'm like, wow, this is going to shatter a lot of.
Well, you know what I thought was going to defy the church was Stigmata. Remember that movie?
Yeah, there you go. Right?
Apparently, the Pope didn't want that movie to come out.
Sure, it wasn't that big of a deal either. It's like, come on, Pope, really? It's not.
And how about The Exorcist, right?
Yeah,
or anything along those lines. I think Rosemary's Baby. Have you ever heard that one? I think it was
before
we were even born.
That's
a woman has the
it's
devil's,
a great movie.
Devil's
it's really
baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The one that I saw that was really kind of messed up was the one. What the hell is it called? Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah, wait, the older one? With, Chris, what is
I was getting those names.
William Dafoe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was also very creepy.
Yeah.
Him,
because he comes down from the cross and then gets married with Mary Magdalene, has kids and stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
And then meanwhile, it was the devil the whole time.
It's interesting, like you say, that guilt that you feel when it strays from the traditional fundamental teachings that you learn from as a child in school and church and so, especially as a Catholic, when you're first exposed to another ideology, you're like, whoa, the guilt that overcomes you is like, I can't even believe I'm considering this.
Catholic guilt is a term.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Fantastic. There's no
it's good.
There's a brilliant.
There's no Jewish guilt. That's a term.
a brilliant phrase that I heard. I don't know if it comes from. I listened to the Brian Callen podcast, and Hunter Motz is a really bright co-host of his. As he's written a number of books, and he talks about religion. I don't know if this comes from Albert Einstein or his wherever he pulls this from, but you have religion founded on fear, and you have science founded on raising doubt. And I think we're seeing more of the scientific, the science perspective point of view, where you're facing, and asking questions. And it's a community where if one scientist says, I've proven this to be true, and another scientist says it's not, it's acceptable because you have, your colleagues, and so on. What they're really doing is trying to improve your stance, right, or improve you and how you do your studies and so on.
Absolutely.
Religion, it's kind of taboo to do that, right?
Not the question. That's right. But what's interesting is the quantum science that's coming in that really has ties and spiritual roots. And I think the quantum science that's not as widely accepted in the scientific community because it has such religious and spiritual roots, that will probably be the bridge between religion and science.
Right.
Because usually they're on the complete opposite, right?
Absolutely.
You're a scientist, you're not religious.
Right.
Vice versa,
Right.
That's right. But quantum science is very fascinating. And if I could go back and do it again, I'd be a quantum scientist, which, by the way, Bruce Wayne is a quantum scientist.
Is he really?
Another Batman. Another leg up for Batman.
That's right. Superman, you're just slacking, my friend. go eat some kryptonite and get off my planet.
What do you think about, now that we're on the Batman subject, what the heck is his name now? I'm horrible with names. Jesus Christ.
Who are you thinking of?
Benifer.
Oh, you know what?
Ben Affleck, thank you.
Being appointed the new Batman.
What do you think about that?
I think he's going to do a fantastic job.
Really?
Reason being, because he has gotten his suck gene out in so many other movies.
Geely.
He only has to be good, right?
He
He's got
hit the
no other
bottom, and there's nowhere else for him to go but up. Like, he can't...
Argo was good, though.
Argo was
He
fantastic.
threw the town in Argo.
That shows that he is progressing, right? He already hit rock bottom. He was married to J-Lo.
Rock bottom was
I am kidding,
was
J-Lo.
J-Lo.
I love you.
right.
If you're
but
listening.
He let her like kind of make decisions for a while. I think like he's laying on her boat in the music.
video.
Come on, man.
I would do the same thing if I were given
I would too.
this situation.
Who am I kidding?
I would have made Geely, and I would have lived my life the same
Who am I
way he
kidding?
has.
Check your
I couldn't
bank
say no
account.
to that ass. Hey, I couldn't say no to that ass.
Check your bank account, buddy.
To me,
You know what? I read that the other day when you posted that. I'm like, fucking asshole. That's so true.
He's already made Daredevil, which was terrible.
Yes, that's right.
So he knows what not to do as a superhero. So I think
true.
he's going to be fantastic.
They were talking about Josh Brolin, which would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That would have been.
I think he's getting up there in age.
But I can tell you this.
It's supposed to be a more mature Batman.
Batman.
That's right.
Yeah, for Batman, yeah.
But I can tell you this: if, and I say if, the movie is horrible, it won't because of him. It won't be because of him.
It'll be because of the director?
No, because of Superman. Because he is a weak character without stresses enough. Okay? What kind of alien comes to planet Earth with limitless power and tries to blend in? In our society, is that what we're all about? Are we all trying to blend in?
Conformity.
Are we all trying to conform?
What's the message?
He is
And you know what?
counter-
Hipsters try not to conform, and he was a hipster.
He was a hipster through that entire movie. He was glasses. Okay? That's just...
There's so many holes in that character.
There's so many plot holes in that character development. It's ridiculous.
I'm just waiting for you to ask us not to get you going, but I think we did.
Please don't get me started on Superman.
I'm not sure if it's all out yet. Did we squeeze 11
Is there
of them?
more? There's another level.
There is. I won't get into it though. I'll save that for round two when we discuss that movie. After that movie comes out, I'll come back and give you my account
Let's do it.
on the Superman Batman.
Yeah, hell
movie.
yeah, we're gonna bring you back for sure.
There is okay. I will say this in Superman's defense.
Okay.
There's one instance where Superman actually was cool.
When he was a kid?
When he was a child and you didn't know what the hell he was doing. No. In the Justice League show, he finally admitted he was a Boy Scout for too long. And he just gave it. Yeah, he was like, you know what? I've been holding back. I've been a Boy Scout too long. Today, I'm just going to kick your ass.
Nice.
And I was like, oh my gosh, wow. That's amazing. You finally admitted to being...
He needed the Justice League, though, first.
Which is crazy because Batman was like, hey, I'm sorry for having this contingency plan which put all you guys in a compromising position. And everyone was mad at Batman for that. And he's like, well, if I didn't do that, we'd all be in trouble. And they're like, well, you can't do that again. And Batman was like, F you. If you don't like me doing it, I don't want to be part of the team. And what did they do? This, mind you, is the only guy that has no superpower. In the face of Wonder Woman, The Flash, Superman, Green Lantern, he's like, F you guys, I don't want to be part of your crew if you don't want me.
You guys are wusses.
And then they were like, Batman, I'm sorry, come on back. And he was like, yeah, that's right.
That's awesome.
Quantum physicist, bitch. He's cool. I can't say enough about my good friend Bruce Wayne. He's a good buddy of mine.
Oh, tremendous! What kind of artists do you like? Who are your favorite artists? Like if they throw out a movie, it's a no brainer. You're behind them.
Oh my god! Anything by James Cameron, he's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, what about actors?
Actors? I think I have a really big list of actors that I really enjoy, just because I dabbled in the acting thing, and I know it is difficult to do. And I don't know that I have like a solid.
Don't give us a favor,
top
but
three.
just give us the names that come to your head. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I don't have
You never
anybody.
put him on the spot.
Yeah.
I never put it on the spot.
As soon as he walks out here, he'll be
Yeah, you're
texting
gonna have
us.
100 of
I
them.
just finished Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston.
Yo, he's fantastic.
Isn't he awesome?
Tremendous actor.
He's fantastic. And
I listened to an interview with him on Stern. Cool motherfucker.
He is cool. He's cool as shit.
Cool as shit.
all through the show, though, I'm just like, man, you came from Malcolm in the Middle, like.
Yeah.
See, I never saw Malcolm in the Middle, and that's what everybody says. Everybody who watched Malcolm in the Middle says that. I saw him as the dentist on Seinfeld.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was the anti. No, he wasn't the anti-dentite. It was somebody else with the anti-dentite.
Do you know how many people were on Breaking Bad that were on Seinfeld, though?
Yes.
Isn't it insane? It's like fuck everybody almost.
I believe the director of Breaking Bad is the director of X-Files.
Oh, okay.
James Gillen, and I should look it up.
Well, Vince
Gillen? Yeah.
he's the writer.
He's a writer. He was one of the writers on X-Files, and that's where he hooked up with Cranston in his
Yeah, because
early-
Cranston was on the X-Files, which
Yeah.
I didn't know either.
Yeah. I don't know if it was a lot or for a couple... Recurring role, I think he had a...
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where they first hooked up.
Breaking Bad, for the 5th season, after episode 8, went away for like 10 months.
Oh really?
So can you imagine watching it, like, as I started watching it when the finale was after it aired.
okay.
Yeah.
So I went back because everybody was fucking talking about this show.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta watch this because, like, I'm the only guy on earth who hasn't watched it. So then I heard later that after episode 8, it like just disappeared. So can you imagine watching it week after week,
And then it just...
and then it goes away, and you don't know what the
pause.
fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Bro.
He just won the Golden Globe.
Yeah, he did. Fantastic career,
Yeah,
fantastic
so
story.
it's nice to see when an actor like that gets validated. Right?
Finally figured out which actor comes to mind that I'm really enjoying right now is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Okay, don't
He
know.
played... well, he has the Sherlock show. It's a BBC
Oh
show.
yeah,
But he played...
English,
Elementary.
he played Khan in the new Star Trek
Yes.
movie. He's fantastic.
He's pretty cool, eh?
And I'm really enjoying the Sherlock series.
Elementary.
No, it's called Sherlock. It's a BBC
Oh, it's
one.
not the elementary one?
No.
Oh, I was stuck
That's
on
like
was
the
in that
American one. The elementary is the American one. Sherlock is the BBC one. So it's a modern day Sherlock
shit.
and Dr. Watson, and it's unreal. It's such a great show.
How do they have two Sherlocks out at the same time?
I don't know.
What's up with that?
Did you see the Sherlock movies?
Yes.
In the Shadows. So the character that Benedict plays is more like that Sherlock.
Oh, cool.
So he's really, no one likes him at first because
Yeah,
he's just
he's a
like
badass.
Yeah, he's an ass. He's calling people out,
Nice.
and then he just, I don't know. He's a really great actor. He was in a couple movies this
What's the
year.
name again?
Benedict Cumberbatch. And what's interesting, the guy who plays Watson,
Yeah.
he's the Hobbit.
Oh, okay.
And the newest Hobbit movie, Benedict is actually the voice of the dragon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look
so-
at all of them hooking
Oh
each
yeah,
other up, eh?
he's
Warhorse.
into Star Trek, Warhorse.
They're all
Atonement.
hooking each other up, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah. This guy you're going to see a lot of. He's really, really good.
Yeah,
Really
he's
good.
30.
He's actually got a fan
37 years
following
old. Young guy.
of women, and they call themselves the Cumberbitches. I want to be on that level where I have a crew of girls
That call themselves bitches.
That's right. Hey, these are my Cumberbitches that they come to every event that I do. Cumberbitch number one.
You know what? At first I thought that was pretty creative, but then you look at his last name, and all they did was change a letter.
Change yeah. But the thing, these women are like, yeah, I'll be your Cumberbitch. Like, they willingly want to be this man's bitch. I want to be at his level.
But he's not married or anything. So.
Not yet, but with all these Cumberbitches running around, anything can happen. He's Sherlock, for Christ's sake.
Oh, tremendous.
But yeah, check out that show.
Yeah. Would Sherlock?
Yeah, check out Sherlock.
Take a look. I wonder if did he win something on the Golden Globes too?
I don't know.
I want to bring up a show. Bachelor.
Yes, you did want to bring that
Or
up.
Bachelorette.
Nelson,
Doesn't matter which
Nelson
side.
couldn't wait
Do they
to
still-
get back to record because he wanted to talk about this.
Do they still have that show?
Yeah, so right now it's The Bachelor. So it's a guy picking from fucking 25, 26 women. Whatever. I don't even know.
Okay.
This woman goes on a date with the guy. And she's talking about her dead dad looking down on her and being so happy for her and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, God damn, if I was her dad, I would not be happy. That she's on a date competing with 24 other women, disrespecting yourself like that.
She was talking about the death of her father?
Her dad died.
Oh, so
Sadly,
yeah.
not to disrespect that because that's a serious thing.
Right.
But she's bringing that into the fucking date, and then she's like talking to the director.
So
right?
she got
on
a rose?
camera, and she's like, she got what?
She got a rose at the end of it?
She did get a rose at the end of the date. And
That
she's
was a
like,
pity
so
rose.
it worked.
That was
Yeah.
a pity
And
rose.
she's like,
That was a pity rose. Come
she's
on.
like, my dad, I haven't been happy since the death of my dad, and this is the first time I've been happy and opened myself up.
wow.
And like, that's the time you're going to open yourself up
Dad
to a
is-
guy who's dating 24 other women, and then you say that your dad's going to be
Hey.
happy for you.
Can you argue that it didn't work? Not really.
So you got her
But
anything.
don't bring your dead dad into a fucking bachelor situation.
Why
and say
not?
he's going to be happy.
Here, okay. Well, here's it. It's either I bring in, dead dad, a very sorrowful story to win your affections and sympathy, maybe empathy, or I show you some cleave. And it's one of those things,
Or both.
I got to feed it
both.
to your head or your head,
I'm
or your
thinking,
heart.
sure, the playbook again, I guess.
Yeah, they wrote that in clearly.
But you bring your dad into your playbook? Your
Sure.
dad.
She
Well,
has nothing else.
If I was on a date with this woman outside, no cameras or anything, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not calling you. Tomorrow.
Right? Be like, this shit just got too real.
I know, like, hey, we're just, we haven't even got the appetizers yet. Hold on, let's finish these appetizers before we talk about your ghost dad.
And he's here on the date with us.
I saw something on Much Music the other day, and they were talking about the things not to do on a first date. One is talk about your ex.
Talk about death.
Don't drink too much. Yeah, don't drink too much. What was number one? I can't remember now, but I think you got to put in. Don't talk about the death of your. Because you're not making it to a second date.
If I had a daughter, I'd be like, don't fucking go on that show. Like, you're gonna look like a goddamn fool. There's no winning situation. Even if you end up marrying the fucking guy,
You realize
you don't win at the end.
they're all actors, though, right?
Oh, they're all trying to be, probably.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they're all trying to get discovered and get their agent to fucking back them or whatever.
anything it takes, right? So,
Well,
You know what I say, though? Sorry, Chris, to cut you off there, but I'd say that show you should bring one at a time, put them in a fucking apartment for a month,
yeah.
go work at your job, pay your bills like a regular person, and then see who you fucking love at the end of that.
Yeah.
Because you're out in Tuscany in a fucking mansion, riding a horse. That ain't fucking reality.
Drinking all
You're gonna
the
fall in love with the
bachelor.
fucking guy,
Nice.
obviously, because he's riding a horse in Tuscany.
That's right.
I'd fall in love with the fucking guy, and I'm not. I'm straight.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like, that ain't shit ain't real.
That's horrible.
Put them in an apartment, work a job that you hate, come home, pay the bills, fight about money, then fall in love with them.
Wow,
That's real.
It just got real. That's the dream.
That's the real fucking.
That's reality TV right there.
Living the dream right there.
Yeah, that's right, buddy. That's when you know it's love.
Nobody's gonna watch that because they got that at home.
I
so.
will.
Well, I don't want to tune into that when I'm
I
living
want
it.
to watch myself. It's a mirror.
I think my dad would actually encourage me to go to the show if they were paid actors. He'd just be like, "Are they paying well?
Well,
Are they paying well? Are they good?
Hold
How
on.
much? How much? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Whole different story, yeah. Truth.
Right? Because
Trip to Tuscany or whatever else they're going.
it's
fuck,
a
why
little
not,
bit of a
I guess.
setback, but you're gonna set up maybe a career, and then you win at something else, and people forget, right?
That's right. Does anybody remember the third Bachelor? Anyone?
I don't remember
No.
any of them.
No.
I don't even remember the couple that was on
I don't watch it.
the cover of People last year or whatever. The firefighter and the other girl.
Oh, he was a firefighter?
I don't know. I think
Or
so.
did he work for Firestone?
I know. All I remember is watching the making of their wedding. Like they made a
okay.
reality show of that, and she wanted pink for everything. She just kept saying pink over and over again. That's what I remember. I don't remember.
I have a feeling this is not Nelson's choice to watch this show.
You know what the funny part is? My parents are watching it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my parents fucking eat that shit up.
Do they also watch Dancing with the Stars?
No, but I watched that.
Nice. I know we both kind of... Really? I wouldn't have guessed that.
I want to see Snooki fucking fall on her head.
No, that's a fun show. That's a fun show.
See, I was gonna say, you know, like what's more popular now, reality TV or shows with a baseline, like a story,
A scripted drama.
Yeah, NCIS, Law and Order, Investigation, Blacklist, Sons of Anarchy, or Dancing with Stars, American Idol. But you know what it is? Number one, crushing everybody. Duck Dynasty.
No,
and I don't know if you guys are into
you
it, but
serious?
yeah, I'm not.
They have
kidding.
a gun line now.
Do
you
they?
know about that?
These
guns
guys.
in the line, really?
A gun line. Now they're gonna. I don't think they're making the guns, but they're gonna have like
Put their names on it.
put their name like Duck Dynasty.
They have another one.
An episode of that show.
Duck Commander
It's so
is
fake,
another
though.
one. Yeah,
But I can't watch those shows because it's so staged. And
The Bachelor's not.
well, sure, to a certain extent, of course.
But you can't stage love, Neil.
Yeah,
But do you think
stage
it's staged?
love.
Do you think it's staged when the girl 23, goes on a date and then fucking cries in the bathroom by herself?
sure.
With the camera.
They're all actresses. They're all actors. I don't believe anything's really organic.
What happened to
anymore.
TLC? That's another thing that worries.
Oh, they have a show for everything.
TLC used to be the fucking learning
The
channel.
learning, I would learn when I watched
What
that
do I learn
show.
now? Fucking my fucking crazy obsession.
And
or
Duck
whatever
Dynasty is on A&E. Remember when A&E was
Yeah.
about biographies and
Yeah,
That's
art
right.
shows?
Behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
Now they have a show about my audience or something where 50 people fall around this one person. That's the show.
Oh, yeah.
We
Oh,
just
yeah?
follow you around.
Fuck, I'm auditioning for
You
that.
go to the mall, we're coming.
Insane.
You go to the bathroom, we'll wait out here, but we'll be here.
No, I'm bringing someone in with me.
It's
Fuck
just-
these
That
guys.
is the show. How do they pitch that show? Hey, I got this great idea for a show. We're going to follow you around. 50 of us.
How many people? 2? No.
No. No.
Well, you just,
Or you know what might have happened? They're probably sitting in the conference room deciding. 25 people? No, let's think bigger.
meeting adjourned.
How can we make this more exciting?
50 people.
How about fucking
But you
50
just look at the
motherfuckers?
titles alone, like 600 pounds and pregnant. Like My Strange Addiction.
Yeah.
Extreme
My
Cheap
Strange
Skates.
Addiction, man, when
Right?
I hear any clips of that, I fucking puke. I almost
Yeah, you
puke.
want to die.
Like, I am obsessed with eating my hair, and
Yeah.
I'm sick now because I have a fucking rat of hair in my stomach.
I've seen one
Like,
where
fuck, man. How do you not gag?
the girl is eating tissue paper, right? What else? What other?
Who among us hasn't been hungry for a little tissue paper? Come on, when you
Another one.
starving artist and not eat.
She was obsessed with eating cat food, right?
How is it the most revolting thing you can imagine? Like, if you can think of the dumbest thing a person could do to themselves, that's on that show.
You got to have a stomach just to record it.
No kidding.
Hey, I'm surprised when you hear the cameraman going in the back.
But hey, you can't deny it. If we're not watching it, we're at least tuning in, right? And somebody's
true.
watching it, right?
That's true.
Breaking
But I think
Amish, fucking.
with
Yeah,
enough of
Breaking
these
Amish.
horrible reality shows going on script, people will then crave the scripted stuff. I think that also raises the caliber of the
Yeah,
scripted stuff.
the sad part is
Right.
it's scripted reality shows.
Yeah, now they're trying to script reality
Like
shows.
Duck Dynasty, you're telling me the guy's out shooting ducks or whatever fuck when there's a shortage of whistles.
Yeah.
Like that's what the show's come down to.
And the story.
Fucking Uncle Bernie won't come into the factory. We got 100 fucking whistles to be done. Like fuck off.
Storage Wars and Pawn Stars, like that kind of thing.
Apparently, the one guy left Storage Wars because they were planning shit, and he got upset that it
Sure,
wasn't
they're
real.
planning it the whole time. Like
But he was like upset. Like he
they have
wanted
like 50
actually-
people there, and the only ones upbidding are the stars. Like,
Yeah, I know. The other guys are like, "Hey, man, I can't pay rent this month. Stop bidding."
Can you imagine if you showed up and all these fucking people showed up, you're like, fuck, I can't bid now. I gotta go to the next.
You're done. You can't make a living. You can't
I gotta go to the next bidding war.
Can't make a living buying junk, but you know they also like plant shit in there. You know
that's why the one guy was upset because they kept planting shit. I guess.
Which one was it?
The fucking old bowling guy with the sun. The guy with the sun.
Oh, Barry.
Do they still have the Antique Roadshow? Is that still a thing?
I don't. Yeah, that's a PBS show, isn't it?
Maybe. That was my reality show. I was like, hey, how much is that clock worth?
Oh, that thing was awesome.
That was.
I have a radio in my house that I'm fucking
It made you
like, one of those.
Yeah, it made you
I tell
do
you, man.
stuff in your house.
Everyone's got something valuable
Fucking right,
that they
man.
think is priceless.
That you couldn't script. You know, the reaction of the people, they were genuinely like, oh my gosh.
This spoon was
They
fucking
were
found.
very excited about that. You know, Grandma died and left me these spoons. We were just going to throw them out, but now we can pay our bills. Thank you, Grandma, for the spoons. That was good reality.
One can only wish, right? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Get rich quick.
What are you watching now?
What am I watching? Well, all the shows are on hiatus right now.
That's
really. I've been watching a lot of football. Like NFL playoffs have been going on, and when that's done, sure it is. Yeah, it is. The blackout last Super Bowl. Right? Come on,
I know. I'm betting on
staging a comeback.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but that's all I've really been watching. When that's over with, I've been watching a lot of movies.
Yeah, okay.
I'm watching a lot of movies. I've watched American Hustle.
Yeah, I just watched that today, actually.
Yeah, you've seen it too.
I saw American Hustle, but
Fuck it, let's do a review.
Okay, so Wolf of Wall Street or American Hustle? They both came out at the same time.
Only if he's seen it.
I've seen both of them.
Right,
Okay,
so
hold
let's
on.
do it.
Okay, let's do American Hustle first.
Which one do you pick out of the
between
two?
the two?
Just because.
I'll tell you, I expected more out of Wolf.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. American Hustle, whenever there's too many stars in a movie,
Yeah.
to me it loses its appeal, because it's like, I know Jeremy Renner from Hurt Locker, I know Christian Bale as Batman, I know Amy Adams from The Fighter, I know Jennifer
so you're
Lawrence
talking American
from
Hustle then?
Yeah.
Disappointed you?
No, well, I thought it was going to be a disappointment.
Oh, you thought it was?
Yeah, because it had too many actors. I'm like, how do you put these 6 people?
Yeah.
And someone's going to steal the show or whatever, right? I thought Amy Adams was the best. And the story, because I didn't know, it got me, and I enjoyed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Chris?
Well, no, that's getting Nelson.
Yeah?
What do you think?
I expected more from it. I was a little disappointed with American Hustle. I thought Jennifer Lawrence's character was weak. Because they could have done either more with it, or she should have been Amy Adams' character. But Amy Adams did such a good job with it, so can't really take her away from that.
I think she ran away with They both won awards, didn't they, for it?
For that?
At the Golden Globes, yeah.
Really? Because
yeah,
Jennifer, they could have done so much more with
Lawrence.
Jennifer
Definitely won, unless she won for that Hunger Games movie.
It probably was.
Yeah. What did you think, Chris?
I will agree with Nelson. I think the Wolf of Wall Street got me, but I just felt it was too long.
Really?
I did. I was like, you could, do without some parts here and there.
Yeah, I thought 3 hours was crazy long too.
It was crazy long,
but I
it
felt
held
that
my
it
attention.
went fast.
For Wolf.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it was like, I'm glad I knew it was 3 hours going in. Thank God. Otherwise, I would have been like, when
you got to prepare yourself mentally.
Because the movie could have ended at 2 hour mark, and it's like,
absolutely.
Holy shit, there's another hour to go.
Yeah.
But I knew, so I was okay. Otherwise, I would have been like, what the fuck is going on with this movie? Why isn't it over yet?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for American Hustle, I expected more because there was so many people in there.
Okay.
I think for me, everyone's performance was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably my own fault going in with such a higher expectation, and it was the opposite for The Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
I know that Scorsese's films tend to be longer, and he always has that protagonist that talks to the camera, and he's up to his old tricks again, right?
Yeah. But the signature Scorsese.
Yeah, exactly. The things that make his films, really good. But I think for me, just seeing DiCaprio in that just depravity, he was just like that,
He was the Great Gatsby.
It was
actually
a Great Gatsby sequel
with drugs.
It was.
Yeah.
You know, and
It totally was. Yeah.
yeah, I still enjoyed it. I think I still just because it was
Yeah.
you know a really interesting story because it happened.
That's right. Yeah.
Two things about American Hustle. Christian Bale is fucking phenomenal. He's on like my top up there for acting.
Yep.
Fantastic job again.
Sure.
And for Wolf
He's
of Wall
Batman, by the way.
That's right. That's right.
Saying.
I better for that
He's
man.
my favorite Batman.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
And then with the Wolf of Wall Street, I like that it was inspired or based on a true story, and I kind of like the idea that there's like hookers in an office. You know, there needs to be more hookers in offices, people.
Oh, good
I'm
luck.
gonna agree with that.
So I'm watching this, I'm like, you know what? That's great. Good for them.
But
Fucking
American
good.
Hustle is also loosely based on
Oh, is it?
true events. The ab scam, the happenings that happened.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So it is also. But what's interesting is this year's contenders, Oscar and Golden Globes, both films about conning American people.
Wow.
That's where we are right now.
That's
We're celebrating films that show how
Beautiful.
gullible Americans are and what they felt for granted. Yes, it was in the past, but we're still, well, we are all very gullible.
Well, the Wolf on Wall Street, I love anything Leo. I love anything Scorsese. Put the two together, and it's a slam dunk for me. And even though it played on the whole drugs, money, that I typically like movies like that. And this time I didn't enjoy it as much, but it was still entertaining. Like it wasn't a waste.
Too much?
It's just
excessive.
It was the familiarity with Gatsby. It was too soon after. It was just like dudes playing. I celebrate Leonardo because he does different things to me all the time. You can argue Will Ferrell is in the same.
I think this is going in a different direction than I thought. This conversation.
Well, you can argue like Will Ferrell. He's the same guy in every comedy, right? Like you can say Owen Wilson does the same thing.
Yep.
Definitely Will Smith. Everyone knows how I feel about fucking Will Smith.
I don't know. Tell me how you really feel about Will Smith.
Rewind. Check out the other podcast. But I find Leo when he takes on a role. He's pretty methodical. He picks great movies. They're well marketed, and I think he's good at. Even though he's a familiar face, you can buy into his character being a different person each time.
And that to me goes back to what Chris was saying about acting being hard. Mm-hmm. I don't think acting is hard for the Will Ferrells and Owen Wilsons and shit because they're just playing themselves. They're not acting,
which is why they're as good as they are too,
right?
Because they're being themselves.
And then the other, right? But is that anything like? Courtney Love was phenomenal in fucking People versus Larry Flint. Mm-hmm. Well, she was playing a heroin addict. Like,
yeah, she
was herself on camera.
Right.
That doesn't make you a great actor. And to me, that makes you easy for you to just be yourself with the camera on. Mm-hmm. But for the other guys that I think are really the masters, to them, I would say that it's hard to do that. Because I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to be a completely different guy.
Right.
If I'm like... in a freaking movie, I'm going to tell you the line the way I would in real life.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
You know what?
That's my act.
By the same token, it's not their fault. You're not going to turn down a $25 million film. Right?
Of course it's not their fault.
Right? So, and then arguably it's harder as you take on roles when people identify you as training day. They identify you as Man on Fire. So you're going to do a movie with Mark Wahlberg, and I'm talking about Denzel Washington, if you don't fucking know. Okay? To me, the actors that really excel, I can watch them, I know them for who they are, I know them for their past flicks, but they still captivate me in the movie they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think this one...
Because there's enough different, though.
Yeah.
Like Flight.
Right.
Fucking brilliant.
And it has to do a lot with the movie selection, right? Like, you can't be playing like the thug undercover cop in the ghetto.
Like Tyrese?
Sorry. Well, when you do Fast and the Furious 7 times, I mean, that's a different story, right? But again, can you blame them? The money's there, the audience is there.
Who I blame is the director and the producer.
Right.
That's who I blame.
And the only way you can make a statement is not watching these movies. But people are still watching these movies.
No, but if I was a hack actor and people kept hiring me, I wouldn't be upset at myself because I can't really act. I'm not a Robert De Niro.
No,
I'd
that's
be like,
not.
fucking
It's not,
A1. I made it being me.
Yeah, it's not your issue.
No,
it's not.
I
your
wouldn't give a shit.
But I'll tell you when.
Good for these guys.
The actors that I love the most, and especially like one of my favorites now is, Daniel Craig.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I know he did Layer Cake, and that movie really probably is what got him the James Bond role. But I didn't see Layer Cake. So I didn't know him for Layer Cake before I knew him as James Bond. Right. But when they did the Brosnan, Pierce Brosnan and Timothy Dalton, I'm like, I fucking know these guys for Mrs. Doubtfire, Remington Steele, like, you know, they're suave, debonair, like other shit.
But they were, I guess that was the kind of James Bond they were.
That was the era, when Bond, they were going
so
through.
So they perfectly fit that kind of direction.
If that's what you like.
I don't think it was the right,
And that was the time, I think, arguably, they didn't do their best in the box office. They went with Flair, they went with Halle Berry, Denise Richards.
Yeah.
Like, I find actors that's an unknown, like Eva Green, who was in Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Okay, the female lead there. Mm-hmm. Olga Kurylenko, the second one in Quantum of Solace. Like, they're foreign actresses. They hit it huge on the Bond movie. You don't know them for their other roles, and now they're blowing up.
They're goddamn gorgeous.
In North,
so how the fuck
they're still, it's the mystery, right? Adds on top.
I would rather that, and some directors specifically go after that, like the new up and comer, like. So that you don't have the whole, it's just, Vince Vaughn again. Making the same guy, right?
And that's what I appreciate the most, and I've respected and like Daniel Craig the most. Before him, it was Roger Moore, because
for me, it was Roger
growing up, that was my guy, right? Yeah. Most people are going to say Sean Connery, the original.
Right.
I mean, there's like 3 or 4 other ones.
I still can't believe they called a James Bond movie Octopussy.
We can get away with that back then.
So have we devolved, if that's a fucking word?
We can't get away with that now.
Because you can't put pussy in a movie title these days.
Well, you said it last podcast about censorship and material, right?
The Spy Who Shagged Me was, Austin Powers. It was fine here, but in London they had to change the title.
Really? Right.
Yeah, because shag means to fuck.
Right.
Well, isn't that what it meant in Canada?
Here, but we don't. It's more serious over there. Let's say across the pond, that can't be a movie.
They have different rules against what offends them. Man.
That's how I would
say about us.
The Spy Who Fucked Me. You're not gonna have that.
Why
not? Well, we'll make an indie film to do it, but I certainly respect the actors that can do that, and especially.
But if you think about it, that's a lot of the reason why anybody goes to a movie, because you're not going for the story because you don't know the story. Mm-hmm. You're going for the promise of a good story, but also for the performance of this person.
Well, the preview is a big part of that, I think.
To tell you, but we all know, like, a lot of the times.
How many times have you seen an amazing trailer
and the movie's just like, whoa.
You know what drives
the best parts were in the trailer.
You know what drives me nuts is when they put something in the trailer. I know why they do this, because obviously they edited the trailer first, then they edited the rest of the movie to get the word out.
Yeah.
And then they take a part out of the movie that was in the trailer. So you're waiting the whole fucking movie to watch this part that is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's not in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one movie I saw last night, and it's not any of the two that we've been talking about, and it got better ratings on Rotten Tomatoes than both American Hustle and The Wolf of Wall Street, is Dallas Buyers Club. And you saw Matthew...
I've heard it, Matthew
McConaughey.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of Wolf of Wall Street.
That's why, right? It was that movie?
Yeah, and I'm going to play the trailer here right off of Rotten Tomato, but it's a terrific movie. His role...
Does he have AIDS or something?
He has AIDS. He's not a homosexual, but there are homosexuals in it.
I don't know, why did you have to say like...
Because...
You had to cover that?
Because that's the theme of the story, is basically the homophobia and the stereotype that only homosexuals are getting HIV.
Well,
AIDS.
there's a cowboy. That's why.
Yeah. So
cowboys.
You see, he
riding
lost
bareback and such.
He lost 40 pounds in this role.
It's
Jennifer
crazy.
Garner's in it.
Have you ever used intravenous drugs? Have you ever engaged in homosexual conduct? You made a mistake. That ain't me. Mr. Woodruff? Yes, I made you a
Holy shit, he looks horrible.
Newsflash, y'all. Ain't nothing out there can kill Ron Woodruff for 30 days. Drugs. They just released your testing, and I know.
Does this go to the theater?
It's still in the theater.
Oh.
He'll probably win an Oscar for it.
I think so. And Jared Leto's in it, and he's better than McConaughey. Hardly.
Really?
Yeah, that's him. You'll see him as the transvestite.
He's a tranny?
You could be making a fortune off of it.
You look great.
Honestly, amazing. Anything to declare? Nada. They're importing illegal drugs for sale. It's a very serious offense. They're not illegal.
So I'll leave it at that. So basically, the gist of this outline, and I'm telling you,
that's
that's
Jared
Jared Leto right there,
Holy shit.
dressed in a mink coat with a wig and like some ladies' glasses. It takes place in 80s, 85.
Okay.
Again, I preface it with the whole homophobia because it starts out with AIDS and HIV being like only the gay man's plague,
that was
right? The
that
gay
was Eddie
man's
Murphy's
cancer.
joke back in.
But it's true. It's like what people were saying.
Yeah.
AIDS is the gay man's cancer, etc. Right. And here you have a drug user, a promiscuous, transient guy, right? A regular dude out of Texas who's been given a death sentence, 30 days to live, and it also parallels the story about the prescription AZT, which is the first drug that they administered on AIDS patients. And they skipped the whole trial on animals and they put it immediately to people.
Really?
And can you imagine this? If your life on the line, you're either going to be the placebo or you're going to get the real deal. And imagine you're in the room, and this is what happened with Jared Leto, because Jared Leto's with him as a patient. Jared Leto is feeling fine, and McConaughey is not. And he's not getting AZT, and he's like, I need it, I want it. And then the more research that McConaughey does, he finds that AZT is not the answer, and he goes cross-border for unregulated drugs or deregulated in Mexico. Yeah. And that's how he creates this whole Dallas Buyers Club. So, intriguing story. I never thought of McConaughey in a role like this. I never thought of him as his previous roles.
Okay.
Have you seen The Lincoln Lawyer?
Yeah.
And Mud?
Yep. And he blows those out with this performance. Now, one can argue when you do a body transformation,
you're already
and you hit subjects like this, like AIDS, sickness, like whatever. It's like a home run, but you got to master, you got to nail it. And Jared Leto is incredible in it. So 93 and 93, I mean, I give it 100. Take a look, watch it. There's a lot of stereotypes covered in this, but it'll really open your eyes. And the thing is, he exposes some drugs better than AZT. But you see how the FDA cock blocks them because they're not going to make money on it.
Right.
So a lot of underlying layers of stories in this.
Lots of controversy, eh?
Yeah. You'll love it. That's the kind of shit I love. So
I love stuff that exposes the conspiracy theories like that. Shows that those conspiracy theories aren't just theories.
I think the other cool thing is this is an era where we were all alive as kids.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't understand this. Your parents growing up as adults. Did my mom, did my dad, did my aunts and uncles think this, right?
I'll never forget watching a video of David Geffen. Okay, he was openly a gay male, right? Powerful music industry guy, now into movies and stuff. He, his first friend that died of AIDS, he said he couldn't bring himself to throwing out the business card, so he kept it, right? By the end, he had like 300 business cards of people that had died of AIDS.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
It's like an epidemic.
Okay. Yeah, everyone was going nuts at that time, and nobody knew what it was.
Right.
Like you were saying, it was like the plague, right?
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, everybody thought it was just a gay thing. Mm-hmm. Like if you weren't gay, you weren't going to get AIDS.
Right. I mean, and it begs the question: you don't see it quite as much now. You see people being healthy with they're diagnosed with HIV, AIDS. They live normal lives. It's come a long way.
Well,
But I think what had to change is people's attitude about that. Because I mean, to think a specific disease is only for a certain
demographic or something.
Not even like a type of person, but a lifestyle.
Right?
That is
it's pretty ignorant.
To have that thought that could be true. That just
it blows your mind how stupid humans can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's gutsy on McConaughey's part because he can get a lot of backlash. He's a Southern guy, I mean, there's, he comes from southern states himself, so I mean, you get a lot. I'm not just saying southern United States.
Right.
It's still prevalent, but there are some traditional thinkers there.
I never saw the movie Philadelphia, but I'll never forget Tom Hanks. He shakes the guy's hand and he says,
Denzel, and Denzel backs away.
Yeah, and he like wipes his hand or whatever too.
Yeah.
Does he not?
Yeah,
It's like,
he goes to his doctor. He says, "Am I going to get it from shaking this guy's hand? I've been washing
Oh my God.
my hands all day." So it's a cool movie, man. It's a real eye opener, and if he doesn't win an award, I'll be surprised. And Jared Leto is incredible. Like, it takes guts, and it takes a lot of methodology, study, right?
Absolutely.
Like, these guys are at the top of their game right now. So
Jared Leto's got a very successful band too, right?
Jared Leto banged a lot of chicks. So let's put it that way. So if he wants to do a gay role, I don't think
Well, no, I'm not talking about that. But it's just these guys.
he's got anything to worry about.
These guys who are at the top of their game at probably the hardest industries, music and movies.
Yeah.
And they make it in both. I was telling you about the guitarist from Tool, who was the special effects guy on Jurassic Park.
No kidding.
Drawing fucking dinosaurs and shit.
No kidding.
So he quits that and then starts
Did
this
these
band.
guys leverage their careers in one?
No. It's complete. Maybe Jared Leto did because he did it way after, and he stayed in acting.
Yeah.
But his brother is in the band too as the drummer, right? But the guitarist for Tool quit Hollywood to start the band. He didn't do both simultaneously.
Okay.
Which is why I say he didn't leverage it. But you know what? He probably had a shitload of booking agent contacts or whatever else.
Right.
Pass me off to this guy. I got a band. Listen to
I
my
guess that's
disc.
not really the point.
So he probably did.
You have the chance to leverage it, whatever, but you still have to have the talent.
To have that
right?
talent in the two most difficult industries to make it and make it in both is fucking incredible.
Yeah, definitely. That's why it's a pisser when you see people like Jennifer Lopez do like acting and singing. You're like, come on, what the fuck? Maybe dancing, maybe.
Well, in Living Color, she was a fly girl, man.
Right? But, she's talented and all. I just don't think she's exceptional in any one or the other, right? So,
Well, I think
I'd give her the singing.
I think she is good at reinventing herself.
Mm-hmm.
She is able to. I mean, I can't dance like that.
Yeah. Oh God, 1,000%.
Nor do I wish to.
Check your bank account.
Yeah, check your bank.
I'm gonna fucking hear that every time
I don't got a J-Lo bank account.
Every time
right?
I trash somebody that's making it, I'm gonna fucking think that now.
That's right.
Hold on a second. Let me check my bank.
Shit, fuck. I got nothing.
Do I have J-Lo money?
I got nothing on J-Lo. Bullshit.
With checking the savings.
Yeah, I gotta check it.
3 days. The checking the savings.
Let me transfer some money around. Then I'll check.
Tremendous. Okay, guys, let's wind it out here. This has been a great podcast. Thanks, Chris, for joining us.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, we really, I don't know what to say. I mean, this is what we do it for. We want to give you a voice, and people recognize your work, right?
Yeah,
so, we're all aspiring to do something. Check out Chris's book online. Give it a site.
Hello, My Sin Is. You can check that out on Amazon.com.ca. You can also check out my blog with the same name, Hello My Sin Is, at WordPress.
And you can follow Chris on Twitter as well.
Yes. I actually look like a hipster in my Twitter.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, that's my homage to Superman.
You're gonna audition for Superman next.
What's your
year.
Twitter? What's your Twitter?
I think this world needs a black Superman. I mean, he is the
Didn't
man
those
of steel
kids already
after
do
all.
that role?
Yeah.
Hancock, yeah.
Herbie Hancock.
You can follow me at what is my Twitter? Oh yeah, Hello My Sin Is at Twitter, or CK Bernard at Twitter.
Right on. And you can follow us at Real Nobodies on Twitter. And Nelson, give them the site.
TheNobodies.com. And you're spelling KNOW, not NO.
And
Buddies like friends.
anytime you guys are thinking of making a purchase on Amazon, go visit our website.
Yeah,
click on the merch tab.
Throw us a penny.
Throw us a bone here. We get a little bit of a cut, but the other thing is we've got iTunes going on. So any of the music.
If you're liking the tracks you're hearing, they will be up on the website as well, on the right-hand column.
Okay, and don't forget to email us at info@thenobodies.com. Send us your comments, send us your questions, because we're really enjoying doing the email viewer question section too. So, guys, we're the Coke and the Ibogaine for your ears. You can't get enough of us. Okay,
so are we
keep
going to
tuning
cover
in.
Ibogaine next?
Yes,
is that what's
we will
happen?
cover Ibogaine the
Right,
next time. I've been
Because I look for that
I've
shit.
been luring you in.
And all I've heard about is it's recovery for addicts. And I'm not an addict, so I can't fucking legitimately get that shit.
Watch the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper. Then you know what the fuck we're talking about. All right? So, Chris, it's been amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Nelson.
having me. He's Neil.
And we're the Nobody's Motherfucking Podcast. Cue the music. Good night, bitches.